Hello, welcome to Campus Spotlight. I'm McKinzie Payton, a communication major at Missouri Southern State University. This program features a look at life on campus at MSSU. The interviews were conducted by students in the professional interviewing class in the fall of 2016. We begin with an interview featuring information about the enrollment increase this fall at Southern. The Dean of Admissions, Skaggs, discusses the numbers.
Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us here at KGCS TV here in Joplin, Missouri, here at Missouri Southern State University. I am Kyle McLaughlin, and here I have Mr. Derek Skaggs, and he is the Dean of Enrollment here at the university. And Mr. Skaggs, thank you for joining us here today. And the reason why I chose you for this interview is because I'm wanting to ask you a series of questions about the enrollment increase this semester.
Okay, great.
Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Fire away, Kyle.
All right, my first question is, did you expect this many students to enroll this semester?
Well, that's a great question. We actually had 6,231 students who enrolled this semester. Our goal was around 6,000 students. So I guess to answer your question, no, we weren't expecting that that many. But it's a great problem to have.
Good.
And we're excited about the enrollment increases and the number of new freshmen and new transfer students that have chose to come to Missouri Southern.
Okay. Where exactly are all these students mostly coming from? I mean, I know that the campus is mostly around, by Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas.
Right.
Where do you think the majority of these students are coming from?
Well, a few years ago, we put a plan in place because we knew that the number of high school graduates in the state of Missouri was declining, and so we put a plan in place to go into markets where there were good numbers of high school graduates, and then also maintain a strong market share here in our own backyard, which is Southwest Missouri. So we had an increase in Southwest Missouri. We saw increases in the Springfield area, Springfield, Missouri area. We saw increases in the St. Louis area and also in the Kansas City area. And then in our out-of-state markets, we started a program a few years ago that is the Line Pride tuition rate, which allows students from any state that touches Missouri to come to Missouri Southern for the in-state tuition rate. And Texas was added in there too. And so we did see increases in students coming from Kansas and Arkansas and from Oklahoma.
Right.
And so some of the other markets, we saw some increases in Texas as well, but they weren't as much as what we had in the Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas areas.
Okay, just one last question. Are there any plans of, I understand that I've also heard around campus that there's been some issues of housing arrangements and everything. Are there any plans of expanding?
Well, I know that that's one of the issues that happens when you grow enrollment. And by the way, we grew in international enrollment as well. We broke a record there with new transfers and with international students. So yes, there's a need for additional housing on campus, and I understand our executive administration is looking at what kinds of options may be available to us for that. So we were able to house all of those who had requested housing. And it may not have been their first choice.
Right.
When we got the new quads built, everybody wants to move into the new quads. But those who needed the housing, we were able to accommodate.
Nice. Okay, well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me today.
You're very welcome.
And thank you all for watching here at KGCS TV. Stay tuned.
What's life like for the freshman students coming to campus for the first time? Our next interview features a student who is new to campus this year.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Allen. I'm a senior here on campus in the communications department. And I'm here today with my guest, Joe. And he is going to have a conversation with me today about what it's like to be a freshman on campus. So could you tell me your full name?
My full name is Joseph Rosa.
Okay. What year are you?
I'm a freshman.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow, St. Louis.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours north of here, 3.5 really.
Wow. So, out of all of the schools in Missouri that are closer to St. Louis, what made you choose Missouri Southern?
Well, when I first applied to schools, I scored very high on my ACT, and so I applied to all sorts of schools. But I soon realized that even though I scored very high, my GPA was there, but it wasn't there enough.
Okay.
And so I was looking for affordability at this point. And I saw Missouri Southern, and I was looking through their stuff, and they have a great program, and they have pre-med, and that's what I wanted to do. And they're affordable. It's plain and simple. I came for the affordability.
Cool. So you said pre-med. That's very interesting. What do you want to do with that?
I want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Wow. How long have you known you wanted to do that?
It's really weird, actually. You know, most little kids, you know, you ask them and they go, I want to be a fireman or an astronaut. I said orthopedic surgeon ever since I was really little. And I'm not sure why. I think it's because my sister used to have a lot of hand problems because she used to be a gymnast. And she hurt her hand a lot. And I was around orthopedic surgeons a lot. And I just thought that was neat that somebody could work on the body like that.
Oh, that is so sweet. Okay, so I have a few questions for you about being a freshman on campus because I know it's a totally different life.
It is indeed.
What is the biggest adjustment to being in college right now?
Ooh, the biggest adjustment is living in the dorms. I live in Blaine Hall, and well, Blaine Hall has a reputation. It's not easy. I came from a house by myself, where I living by myself, and now living with 100 other people on a floor is exceptionally difficult for me.
I'm sure it is. Is there anything you wish somebody would have told you to make your college experience better or easier?
No, not really. There's not anything anybody could have told me. It's more of you just have to get in there and you have to do it. And that's part of the reason why I live in Blaine Hall, and you know, it's an experience thing, you know, it's part of the college experience is to get in there and live with 100 other guys and share a bathroom. And once you do it, you say you can have done it, and it's like a badge of honor, I guess.
Well, there you go. What is the best advice that you could give to a high school senior about coming to college? What's the best piece of advice?
The best piece of advice is, I guess, be yourself and stay ahead of your schoolwork. You know, it's not like high school. Nobody's going to care where you came from, what you played, who you are. Just be yourself, because that's the first person who's going to be happy with you is you. And stay ahead of your schoolwork, because it's easy to get fallen behind, and it's easy to not know where you're going, and boom, sooner or later you've missed 6 assignments and you're going to flunk the class.
That is really, really good advice. Okay. If you could tell a high school senior one thing that they could bring to college with them, what would that be?
One thing.
Like, what's one thing that you maybe forgot to bring, or you wish you would have brought, or you wish somebody would have told you to bring?
A shower caddy is an essential point to bring. I know it doesn't sound like much, but when you're showering and there's 6 other guys in the showers, and you're trying to jumble around carrying all your soaps and all your toiletries and all that stuff, it's so much easier just to have a shower caddy and just walk in and walk out.
Even though it's probably not the most manly accessory to have, it's essential?
It's essential, trust me.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming and talking with me today. I know it's a little intimidating being a freshman and being asked all these questions, but I really appreciate it. It looks like this is about all the time we have for today, so I really want to thank you for coming and seeing me.
No problem. I appreciate it.
Another aspect of life on campus is that of a student athlete, someone who participates on teams representing Missouri Southern. Up next, we meet a student who discusses that topic.
Good morning. My name is Roderick Earvin. I'm a mascot major here at Missouri Southern State University, and today I bring to you Chris Williams, student athlete, defensive lineman for our Missouri Southern Lions. May you tell us something about yourself, Chris? What's your major? Something about your background.
I'm a criminal justice major. This is my 4th year here, and I'm also from New Orleans, Louisiana.
So being here 4 years at Missouri Southern, you got to see a lot. How has it been over the past 4 years?
They've had a lot of changes done to the campus, the school, the different type of organizations we have here, and also the athletics as well, pertaining to sports. And
did sports play a big reason for you choosing Southern?
it did at first, and then I fell in love with the people. The people grew on me more and more as I started to get to know everyone.
Okay, so being a student athlete, how do you manage both being in tone with the people and also with sports, like going to class, going to practice?
That plays a part in my advisor and my tutors. My tutors help me maintain my time management classes and all that.
Okay, so are there any sacrifices you have to make being a student athlete, like let go of some things, like not hang out as much and just go to practice and study, or what is there?
It's a lot of times where you want to go out and have fun with your friends, and then you also have a 5-page paper that's due, especially when you procrastinate things.
Okay, and do you like making those sacrifices? Like, is it for the love of the sport?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
But every now and then you get in that spotlight, like, I need to have a life.
So you've been here for 4 years now. So say Southern no longer had a football team, would you still be interested in going here?
Yes, I would. I enjoy the campus, I enjoy the people, and just the all-around atmosphere.
Okay. Not many people know the day in life of a student athlete. Do you mind describing a typical day for you? How your day begins or ends?
Well, depending on what day of the week it is, you'll have 6 o'clock weights, and then after 6 o'clock weights, you may have 20 minutes to get to your next class, so you'll have to book it there and back. And then you also have to do training room. So whenever you have free time, you'll have to go there, get your treatment, and either go to your next class, or if you have something else to do, you can do that.
Okay.
And then 3 o'clock comes around, 2:30 is meetings, and 3 o'clock we're on the field.
And in between their class, right?
Yes.
Sounds like a long day for a student athlete. You think you should be getting paid for that?
Oh yeah. It's definitely a type of business atmosphere where you want to be somewhat like the pros.
Okay. Well, since you've been here for 4 years, you got to see a lot of coaching changes, I would assume. Who was the first head coach here when you got here?
At the time, it was Coach Day.
Coach Day. How was Coach Day?
Coach Day loved his players. Some people may not have known that about him, but he definitely was a player's coach.
He was a player coach. And now we have Coach Denver Johnson here, I believe, at Southern. How you like him now?
It's kind of unusual, I guess, because you're so used to one thing and then you have to go switch it up to a new thing. But all around, I like him.
Have you caught on to like the program, the system? I know coaches come in, they try to change things. Has he tried to change anything in a major way?
Just, I guess, the way things are ran. You're so used to Coach Day and his ways, and then as a head coach, he has his ways and things he wants to do that Coach Day allowed, but we just have to really focus on the win, really.
Yeah, that's what every team should do, focus on winning. At the end of the day, what are your goals being a student athlete? Like, you just want to graduate? You plan on going on further with your sports career?
As a student athlete, I would like to maintain my GPA, my grades, keep my classes up, and also just keep enjoying life here around campus. And also, I intend to work on my master's.
Okay. And you say criminal justice major, right?
Yes.
So with that field, where would that end up taking you? Like, where would you like to go with that?
I actually have an FBI agency willing to take me in Virginia, and I also would like to do some like SWAT type stuff.
Okay. I don't know how you would manage both football and SWAT.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool, though. Well, it was nice meeting with you today, getting to know some things about you, also speaking about the football program and the direction they're leading at. And I wish you a great future, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
Nice meeting with you today.
For some students, there's the transition from an athlete to a student. We explore that in our next segment.
On Campus Spotlight, my name is Joseph Henderson, and today with me I have Bryce Higgins. And today we're going to be talking about the transition from being a student athlete to being a regular athlete. How you doing today, Bryce?
I'm good.
That's good. So what brought you to Missouri Southern, Bryce?
First, most foremost, it was school. You know, I just wanted to get a higher education, so that was first. And then second was football. I was a big-time football player in Arkansas, so I really loved the game and everything, and I just wanted to continue playing. So I decided to bring my talents to Missouri Southern.
Okay. So when did you first start playing football?
When I first started playing football, probably when I was about 6 or 7, but I didn't like the game at first, so I quit and then had to come back to it later when I got a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think we all been through that. So what are some of the challenges of being a student athlete, Bryce?
Well, probably traveling and having to balance the schoolwork along with, having to work out, having to go to football games, having to, just everything that takes up your day just in the span of football and school. So you got classes in the morning, school probably in the afternoon, or football in the afternoon, and things like that. So you just have to balance that all out and make sure that you have enough time to get everything done.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you on that one. So when you first got to Missouri Southern for the football team, did you have a scholarship or did you walk on the program?
No, I walked on.
Walked on, okay. So what are some of the challenges of being a walk-on instead of having a scholarship?
Well, being a walk-on, it's just, it's a little bit more difficult. You got to prove yourself a lot more. The coaches may have not come to you and wanted you necessarily to be on the team, and, at least at the point, of giving you scholarship money to be here. So you have to prove yourself. You have to work a little bit harder than the other guy. You have to do the little things sometimes that make you stand out just a little bit more because you didn't have that standout effect originally.
Okay. Now that you're a regular student, Bryce, how has the school life been, just being a regular student? You don't have to wake up, go to weights. You don't have to go to the games. You don't have to do all the extra stuff with being a student athlete. So how has that been?
Well, I have a lot more time for Netflix. Maybe a little bit of Madden. Definitely a lot more time for homework, Netflix, and Madden. So it's nice, but part of being an athlete, it kept you in shape and everything, That's something that, I kind of miss, being active, having something to do all the time, having a kind of schedule to that. But it's nice having free time, being able to do what you want, different things like that.
So which would you prefer? Would you prefer being a student athlete or would you prefer being just a regular student, and why?
Probably a student athlete. Being a student athlete, you just you get to experience the football part of it. You can be a student pretty much for the rest of your life. You can learn things for the rest of your life, but you can't always play football. There's a timetable on football, and you can do pretty much everything else except play sports and do things like that for, the rest of your life.
Okay. And being that you're done, would you try to continue your football career, or do you have any dreams of any doing of that, or no? You're just done with the game?
You always wish you could play a little bit longer, play, probably for the rest of your life. If you ask a lot of people that question, they would probably want to play for the rest of their life. But like I said, it's got a timetable, and, then you got to find the next thing, find what you're good at outside of sports, find, what your ability is mentally instead of maybe physically.
Okay, so you, what is your major here at Missouri Southern?
I'm a criminal justice major.
Criminal justice major, okay. And so what do you plan on doing when you get your criminal justice degree?
I'd probably like to go into some security work, some type of probably dealing with security systems and things like that.
Okay. All right, Bryce, well, thank you for coming with me today and talking with me. I appreciate it.
For students not participating in sports on a collegiate team at MSSU, the Intramural program offers opportunities. That's the topic of our next segment.
Hi, welcome to Student Spotlight. My name is Hank Boulanger, and today I'm here with Mackenzie Sams. Mackenzie, to start off, I want you to tell me what your year is and what your major is.
I'm a junior here at Southern. My major is kinesiology, and I'm also minoring in business as well as in management. That's about it. Third year.
Yeah, awesome. So what brought you here to the good old Missouri Southern?
I have family around this area, the tri-state area, and the tuition's pretty good. And my parents went here, families went here, just seemed like a right fit for me.
Yeah, well, it's very, very affordable for sure. But so Mackenzie, you're the supervisor of all intramural sports here at Missouri Southern. What's that like?
Yeah, I'm one of 3 supervisors. It's fun. It can be a little troubling sometimes when you get kids that are out of control. But other than that, it's a really, really enjoyable position.
Nice.
Southern.
So for the students here at Missouri Southern, do you think being in intramurals and being in these activities, do you think it benefits them as students?
Yes, definitely. When I use this example, my freshman year, my first semester, I was not in any intramural sports, and I knew some people on campus, but the second semester I got out, I did 2 intramural sports, I think, and I already had more people to talk to, more communication, more areas. So the quicker and the more involved you are with intramurals, I think you get a good sense of who's on campus.
Yeah, so it really
who you relate to.
It brings you together with all these people, and you can create friendships from that. And
yes,
that
exactly.
Kind of
I have many friendships from intramurals.
Nice. So since you're a supervisor, you're also a ref, right? So you ref all the games and everything?
More towards basketball season, I'll do a little reffing, but more towards the supervisor side. I just have to make sure the crowd's okay, the refs are doing their job, they're watching for the right calls to make, making sure no one's getting out of control, and if they do get out of control, I have to handle it before it escalates into a big situation.
Have you ever had to handle something kind of like that?
Not yet. As a ref, I've had to throw people out, but as a supervisor, this is my first year as a supervisor, so I haven't had the chance yet, but I know it's going to come.
Yeah.
It just happens every year.
But do you feel like the students here so far at Missouri Southern, they're all kind of, composed and no one really gets out of control that bad? Or?
Oh, yeah. So far, it's all in the heat of the moment. We're all competitors in intramurals. Even though it's all for fun, your competitive instinct comes out and you just want to be your best, and sometimes you just get frustrated. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you see all the sports here that Missouri Southern has to offer. What's your favorite one?
Mine's basketball season for sure. It's our biggest event the whole year. Has the most teams, boys and girls and co-ed. By far my favorite. Second would be softball or wiffle ball or indoor volleyball. There's so many. It's really hard to pick from.
Is there any that you think, any sports that should be added to Missouri Southern Intramural League?
I haven't done a lot of research into like what sports we should bring in, but there's a lot of, I think we should bring in more activities that can reach to all students. Some people have mentioned to me, well, we have a swimming pool here, let's have like some races and stuff like that. And there's some things that we're in the talking of, and we'll see what we bring in.
Yeah, for sure. And what do you think? So you said basketball's your favorite. Would you assume basketball's probably the most popular one here on campus?
Easily yes, because that's we get the most teams during that time of the year, second semester, and we've even added, last year we added a tournament in the fall semester that we usually didn't do, but we've had a high demand in basketball, so just filling in the demand.
Awesome. So since you're a supervisor and a big part of the intramural league here at Missouri Southern, is there anything that you would like to see changed about it?
Not so much change. We have plenty of workers that are active and engaged in intramurals. I would like to see more people more students get involved. So far, we have about average at least 6 to 8 teams per event, and we just really like to see that number grow. And it makes it more enjoyable, makes more competition, more fun, more interaction between students. And even staff can participate, so we encourage staff to participate too.
Awesome. Well, for the last question today, Mackenzie, I want to ask you, what's your favorite memory so far being an intramural supervisor or ref, or you play intramurals as well, so just what's your favorite memory you've had so far?
I don't have a really, usually my team gets to like the semifinals or championship game, and then we just lose.
Yeah.
So I haven't had that great memory of finally winning that T-shirt that everyone's striving for.
I got you. It's a lot of pride and a lot of work for that T-shirt. But Mackenzie, I thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And that'll be all from the student life.
No matter what type of student you are, there's an office on campus focusing on student concerns. Our next interview features the Dean of Students, Dr. Ron Mitchell.
Good morning. I'm William Braun here at Missouri Southern State University, and I'm a communications major. Today is a very special guest, Dr. Ron Mitchell, the Dean of Students here. And this is kind of a neat moment for myself just because the two of us have prior experience knowing one another. Back in early 2000s, I was a middle school student at South Middle School, and you were the principal there. So I never thought that I'd sit down and we'd kind of see where we've grown and gone from there till now. So thanks for being here with us.
You bet. Happy to be here, William. Should be exciting.
Yeah. So to start off, can you tell us where you're from originally?
Originally, I grew up in Kansas City, and at the grand old age of 12, moved to Little Liberal, Missouri, about 45 minutes north of Joplin. And I spent 6th grade through my senior year at Liberal and graduated from there. Came here in 1988 to Missouri Southern and Joplin and have been here ever since.
Wow. Little difference in size and style of life between Kansas City and then moving down there.
Well, I was pretty young,
Pretty young.
So I don't remember. I remember some things about Kansas City, but most of my fond memories come from a little bitty small farm town in Missouri.
So you're familiar, then that's awesome. Going to college here, you said, in Missouri Southern. What did you study?
I was a secondary education major with an emphasis in the social sciences and in math. So I had a kind of a dual major. Near the end, I faded off in the math because it got a little bit more difficult than I was capable of handling. So ended up graduating with a social studies or social services, social sciences degree with an education with an emphasis in social sciences.
Awesome. How did you get interested in the education system, and when did you decide to pursue it as a career?
It's kind of I think it's probably a typical story. When I was in high school, I had a teacher who was a social studies teacher who was very influential and very, very dear to me, and he never pushed me that way. I just kind of had the thought of that would be something I'd like and enjoy, and in fact, it was, and I went there and enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome. Being the Dean of Students here, I'm sure that comes with high responsibility. Could you elaborate a little bit what that entails and what all it is that you do here at Missouri Southern?
Well, the Dean of Students position is kind of an eclectic position, so it's something different every day. Officially, the things I oversee are the rec center and student life, housing. I oversee the wellness center, and then also the student nursing center. I oversee that. I also oversee food service and and the police force. So those are all the things. The most important thing I do is Title IX, coordinator of Title IX as well, which is the anti-sexual harassment and sexual assault policy on campus. That's one of the biggest things I do and one of the most important things I do. So. Sure.
Got your hands full, it sounds like. Since you've been around for a long time and have seen things change and evolve, what do you feel is the biggest challenge students face today inside and outside the classroom?
Outside the classroom at Missouri Southern, the toughest thing they face is simply the atmosphere that we have, which is changing. Missouri Southern's got a whole bunch of first-generation students so it's the first time that anybody in their family has gone to a college or gone to a university, which in itself is a major struggle. A lot of our students are coming here and their parents don't have any experience, their grandparents don't have any experience. Nobody in their families have experience going to college, so they're blazing trails, and that's a challenge. That's a challenge, and inside the classroom, the challenges are simply inherent to classrooms. A lot of college experience, a lot of university experience, learning how to do what you're supposed to do. Most of our students were good high school students, but college is a different thing. So it's just the rigors of education.
Absolutely, I can relate to that, going from high school to college, not really understanding all the preparation that goes in that transition, because there's such a big difference sometimes in high school, and before that you think that you know more than you perhaps do, and then you get to college and more expectations, less guidance, and there's so much more stress on the individual to do what needs to be done.
Yep, and so what I would suggest to any of our students is seek out the Student Success Center. That's what they're here for. They're here to help with stress, they're here to help with tutoring, they're here to help with all those things. So as the challenges come, we have avenues at the university to help students survive and be successful.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking time and visiting with me today.
As you can see, there are many people involved in the student life at Missouri Southern. We invite you to stay tuned for future programs of Campus Spotlight as we interview others from campus. I'm McKinzie Payton. Thank you for joining us today.